Here we go. Hey, Tom.
Oh, hey, JC.
Love is in the air, my friend.
Is it?
It is.
It's not even February, so...
No, right? I know it's...
Is there a
6
non-gimmick?
months early. Well, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you're aware. Well, let me preface this by saying this. I don't know if you know that your current WWE Universal Champion, Seth Rollins, has been dating your current WWE Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
How would I find this information out?
I don't know.
If only someone had said something.
If only someone named Maggle had screamed it for a month. Well, those two apparently got engaged.
Aww. Did they get a ring in the ring?
That sounds like another tournament. Ring in the Ring. The Ring in the Ring tournament.
Yeah,
I got
nothing off of
I
that.
got nothing. All right.
I was trying to think of an angle, and I'm just like, nope.
Oh, boy. I thought that was going to be funnier than it was. All right. That bodes well for this show. So, Tom, go ahead and ring the bell for me.
Okay.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 network, bringing you all the best in wrestling from WWE, New Japan, and beyond. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC.
Oh, buddy.
Bong.
It's the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. My name is JC. Here next to me at the commentary table of the stars is my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
Great to be here as always, JC.
I do want to start with one comment here tonight.
Okay.
I saw when you were on Twitter and you were talking about we need to change the show name.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's open submissions.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be episode 90 or something or other. I say by 100 we change it.
I was gonna say we've broken the 90 barrier. I'm pretty sure.
I think this is like 9. I can tell you things I should know probably before we start recording the podcast.
Yeah, because unlike a lot of podcasts, and I've been absorbing a lot of podcasts lately because I've been driving a lot for work.
You don't listen to them; you just osmose them.
Yeah, just I have consumed a Bluetooth device and then. By osmosis.
Is that covered by your HMO when you have it implanted?
Well, you think I have insurance. I'm a contractor, buddy. But yeah, I've been taking in a lot of podcasts, and number of their podcasts. Our friends Mike and Derek, who run the Cheaters Never Win podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you know, they don't number their podcasts either. So I don't know if it's a thing that we just decided not to because they didn't do it, or...
Well, I think to get this brand off the ground that we're now going to bury, we decided to kind of follow suit with that, right? We're going to kind of... But I feel like it's time.
Back when we, thought we were going to be at the same level.
You mean more people care about hockey than wrestling, Tom?
Hey, at least one of those guys I think listens to the podcast. So hi, Derek.
Here's what we're going to do for episode 100. We're going to do it in a box because then we're immediately over.
Oh, yeah. We can't both be in the box because somebody has to introduce the box. Maybe we actually have a guest one of these weeks.
We can do that. But yeah, so this is your pre-warning. Starting with episode 100, everything's different.
We're gonna have to drop another $5 on an intro.
Oh God, and graphics. That's another $5.
Yeah,
that's why you need to go to cheatersneverpin.com. We changed the website too.
My wife can make graphics.
Yeah,
so.
There we go. Well, you still can. Go to cheatersneverpin.com. Click the Amazon button on the front page. Buy your back-to-school stuff there. And it'll kick a few cents back to us for sending you their way. And that will help pay for this rebranding.
Or better yet, would you like to sponsor our podcast?
Yeah.
Would you like to be the ones where we do commit like 15 minutes or so of an ad read to whatever your product is?
God knows we can do a 15-minute ad read.
Oh, man, it can go on and on. But it's entertaining because you kind of wonder where it's going. And, we have fun doing it. And people will remember what that product is sometimes.
But first, Omaha Steaks.
Yes.
I'll go full Jericho for that. I don't care.
Yeah. But first, sound quality changes.
Why is the ambient noise so different? Here's one thing I can promise you. I'm not going to put that much care into your ad read. It's going to feel natural.
Yeah.
Oh. But
I mean, right now, technically, as we're recording this, if by some reason somebody sent... Now, of course, no one's listening to this live except for the two of us. But
right.
If by some reason somebody telepathically realizes that we're doing this and sends us a message and goes, "Hey, can you do my ad read right now?" We don't need weeks to think of a script. We don't need
bullet points
to go through meetings and things like that. Nah, man. We'll roll it right now.
It doesn't have to go past Vince and get approved, and I don't have to read it word for word. I just need bullet points. It's the attitude era of podcasting. I just need bullet points.
We'll play the Dick Dale surf music in the background. We'll do it ECW style.
Ooh, I like that. I like that idea. Other things that are having major midlife crisis changes. NXT.
Yeah, that's pretty much the big story this week. Vince McMahon pulls a pretty... I guess you could say it's a... I can't think of the word for it.
Preemptive, I think is probably what you're looking for.
That's the word I was looking for.
See? Look at that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do 90-plus podcasts together. A preemptive strike on AEW and their show on TNT by bringing the NXT program to the USA Network on Wednesdays to still give the USA Network 2 wrestling shows after... they'll have 3 wrestling shows for a couple of months, and then eventually SmackDown will go over to Fox to knock it back down to 2. But
USA's just rebranding itself as the home of WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
People are freaking out.
Yeah. This is maybe the most reactionary thing I've seen a response to in quite a while.
Outside of the constant signing of people that will never end up on television and re-signing those people.
Right. But
that's something under the radar. You don't recognize that. You know, the fact that Lana and Rusev are going to get re-signed again, despite the fact that Vince has absolutely no plans for them whatsoever. That's a reactionary thing to AEW.
And if you're them, why do you care? I get to sit at home in Nashville and do nothing.
But yeah, that's the thing. They don't care. And the thing is, you don't necessarily care either because you're still watching your product, and that's not something you realize. You're not willingly recognizing it. And then at some period of time, somewhere out of nowhere, he's going to show up on TV again. You're going to be like, "Oh man, I totally forgot about him."
Yeah. Which is going to be awesome. He's going to machka the hell out of the show
without, facial hair.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It is weird.
If none of you have seen this, I think it's on his Instagram.
He looks like Fred Flintstone now.
Yeah, he's shaved. It's he does. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. So NXT is moving to USA Wednesday nights, 2 hours, 8 to 10, live weekly from Full Sail. I want to start with that point. Let's break this down. Let's go full Zapruder film frame by frame here, as the internet did. At first I was like, are we really doing Full Sail every week? But then I realized this is not the Full Sail crowd of 2 years ago, where it would have been the most infuriating thing of all time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good crowd.
Yeah. It's gonna have that studio feel, which I'm like, I know I kind of. This is going to sound really hypocritical after the comments I made about what Billy Corgan said, right? But at least the studio feel with the production aspects of WWE still works, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like empty TV studio. It's not, I don't want to say empty TV studio, but it's not, 605 Saturday Night TV studio.
Right, because, I mean, we have to figure Full Sail is what, like, say, 400 people?
Yeah, it's a handful, right?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm just pulling that number completely out of my butt, but
I think that's a little high, but it's close.
All right, let's say 250 to 400 people.
Yeah, that's about right.
Ballpark estimate there. I think Studio Center, whatever it is that they called the recording studio that in Atlanta, that
Center Stage.
Center Stage, that's what it was. I think that was at most 50 people.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at how many they used to have in Disney, right? Also, small house.
Right. Does that mean that Full Sail can upgrade and get like the revolving ring?
Oh, God. No. They could just put it on the Bobby Roode platform because we don't use that anymore and spin it around.
I saw him it was a couple of weeks ago. I was watching it. I forgot who he had. I think it was him and No Way Jose. And
yeah. Raw 2 weeks ago. And I was like, huh.
It was like, there's a match.
Look, it's Robert Roode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be cool. I think it's especially cool for those people in Orlando that are gonna get to be there every week.
Yeah.
I have to imagine they're gonna. I mean, why they don't charge that much for tickets now anyway, right? It's $20 or whatever. Which, if that's your main source of entertainment, you're dropping $20 a week to go watch NXT for 2 hours. All right.
I mean, it's a movie. It's a little more than a movie.
Yeah, I could see them even maybe dropping it because they know there's going to be a lot of people that come every week. But at the same time, you keep it high so you rotate those bodies through. I don't know. But
I don't know. It was kind of neat in ECW having those regulars in the stands.
Oh, we're definitely going to have it, right? And you see it now. You see it you even see it every main roster pay-per-view, right? You see, let's see, mostly the ones we hate, right? Brock Lesnar guy.
Yeah.
Guy who wears the jacket that has, like, the old Raw and SmackDown logos all over it.
I mean, I think back to the retro guys like Vladimir.
Yeah. The little lady that was in Madison Square Garden every time. His name I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember the ECW guys that were Straw Hat Guy.
Yeah. That's where my brain automatically goes. Every time we talk about.
he was the main guy. The original sign guy.
Mm-hmm.
There was the guy that was next to the hat guy, who had like the dark glasses. There was Slash Faith No More guy.
Okay.
Who had like the long curly black hair and like the sunglasses.
It's not hit. It's not.
Yeah, But there was that collection of guys in ECW, and it was funny because Straw Hat Guy never would take off his hat during the actual tapings or whatever. I remember being in the arena and he goes and he takes his hat off for some reason. I don't know if somebody had knocked it off or whatever, but hat comes off and he's like balding. He's got like, he's mostly bald, but he's got like the blonde hair around the back type deal. The crowd just breaks into immediately a Terry Bradshaw chant.
That's fun.
Terry Bradshaw.
How that's very ECW.
Yeah, I mean,
so he was running with the hat as the Hogan I'm balding gimmick.
Yeah. And say what you will about an ECW crowd, man, they could come up with a chant in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always entertaining. So who knows? Maybe Full Sail gets back to a little bit of its rowdy original self. It's been a little flat lately, and I think the product has something to do with that. But maybe this will kind of pep it back up, right? Because you will get those regulars, and that's going to kind of add that environment back.
Yeah. Now, what I'm excited about, like, because people are freaking out. People are going, it's going to be 2 hours. Is it really good to have 2 hours?
That's my favorite part of the entire announcement.
We're going to actually be able to use the talent that we have. Now, we've been using tapings to put, like 4 weeks worth of shows together. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's fine. That's whatever. If you're having 2 hour shows, I mean, you're not necessarily going to have, to put all these things together in one taping or whatever. But you're going to have a lot more usage of people. Like, you'll be able to see people more often instead of, once every 3 weeks necessarily, except for like the mainstream people. We're going to be able to see people that we haven't seen. I don't want to say that they're send downs, but like guys that I'll say the WWE main event crew.
Well, let's look at Tyler Breeze and Fandango right now, right?
Right. We'll see more of that, and that's a good thing.
I think what I'm most excited for is the talent that is TV ready, that they just don't have a spot for yet. It frees up time for them.
Yeah.
I especially look at that being a bigger issue within the women's division and everything I've talked about in the NXT women's division, where we can't build a challenger to Shayna because we're doing it pay-per-view to pay-per-view. Well, now you can build that entire division back out and have credible contenders and people looking like they're stepping up to become the next challenger.
Right. What's going to be interesting, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, is with Raw and SmackDown, you had such packed rosters that, I mean, the way that the match structure was one thing. What NXT had that Raw and SmackDown didn't have were squash matches.
Right.
Like legitimate squash matches,
Yeah.
not like Raw and SmackDown would have squash matches involving actual talent where you were like, oh God, they're burying so-and-so. This was, for the most part, I guess they've done it once or twice now on Raw and SmackDown, but when you bring in the local talent or the people that are still kind of training or whatever, and it's cool to like see it later on, like a year later, you see, oh, I remember when she got squashed, and now she's like one of the main people on the roster, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily if we're going to continue to see that, or are we going to see
I don't know
what we were seeing before.
Like I said, they've been doing it more on the main roster too, right? You look at
you get the local talent now.
the Viking War Raider experience guys.
Yeah,
that's their actual name now. Viking Raiders. There we go. They've been doing it with
that's who's playing Thursday Night Football.
That was actually an NFL team or an XFL team.
The Vikings, the Raiders, the Viking Raiders.
Yeah. It's still better than the Battlehawks. Anyway.
The East St. Louis Viking Raiders.
St. Louis really wants football. Let's give them 2 teams. What, Vince?
There's 2 St. Louises. There's an East one. Surely they can have 2.
He gets it confused with Minneapolis, St. Paul. He's like, Minneapolis, St. Louis. Give them each a team. No, Vince. Where's my steak wrap? I don't know why I wanted to bring up steak wrap there. I just went for it.
You kind of have to. Just like when you do the Steve Austin voice, you have to do some bitch.
So here's a question. This is off topic. How many, after this many years of him just eating nothing but steak wraps, what's the over-under on how many steak wraps it takes Vince to get the meat sweats?
Well, we're doing... See, it's tough because you've got meat, but you've got...
Well, of course.
Oh, the tortillas... Yikes. The tortillas would get filling after a while because,
Yeah.
carbs are carbs.
Well, and I don't know the exact chemistry of it, but I don't know if the acidity of the tomato ketchup prevents the meat sweats.
You get meat sweats from like trying to hit that 72-ounce steak.
I get meat sweats if I go to a Brazilian steakhouse, my friend. Those places were made for meat sweats.
Hashtag rich.
Okay, I've been like twice in my life.
I've heard of them.
Oh, they're the best. Tom, we're going to do episode 100 live from Brazilian Steakhouse.
The Meat Sweat edition.
Hey, that would be... So that's a good... So this is off the rails. I don't care anymore.
We have got nothing to talk about this week,
Yeah.
so let's go.
That should
I'm just
be...
going to drink water as you talk.
Take a swig of water for the working man. That should be the gimmick for the WWE theme restaurant, right? It's a Brazilian steakhouse, but it's actually the wrestlers in full kayfabe in their gimmick coming around with the food. And of course, who's running the kitchen but Abdullah the Butcher?
So hepatitis C for everyone.
That's right. I just thought about that. The health department would not be happy with me. I don't think he can get Serve Safe certified. I just want to see Velveteen Dream with a skewer of like Cornish game hens flourishing his way around the dining room.
Purple heat lamps.
Oh, it'd be purple hen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all cooked over Adam Cole's, baby.
God.
Anyway, so back to NXT. Instead of Vinnie Mac's Steakhouse, Vinnie Mac's Brazilian Steakhouse.
We got steak. You can wrap it, or you can just eat it.
It's true. So Brazilian steakhouses always have like that like cold bar where you can get like salad stuff and like pasta salads. It's an entire 8-foot long buffet of nothing but different types of tortillas and ketchup.
Dijon ketchup. Just like those bare naked ladies. I went to that concert once. Highly disappointing.
He just puts in a giant order for JR's ketchup.
I don't think they serve that anymore at the WWE shop.
Can you still buy it from JR's shop? I do.
I'm sure you can buy it. JR's probably got his own shop.
I think you can still buy it
there.
I think you can still buy it at Ingles up in the mountains. I'll just call Edge and have him ship me some.
Oh, why didn't you tell me that? I've been in the mountains like the last couple of months.
The next time you see an Ingles, I know he had a deal with Ingles.
I see Ingles all the time,
Yeah.
man.
Well, the next time you're in,
I'm not traveling out west, for the rest of this month.
Jesus, get your covered wagon there, son. Don't die of dysentery.
Too late.
Out west. Oh yeah, you can still buy it at jrsbarbq.com. Oh yeah, there it is. All right. The biggest free. I'm just trying to picture how you would decorate this restaurant now, and I'm just gonna move back to NXT.
It's the Ribera Steakhouse, except Brazilian for some reason.
Have I ever?
Everybody's serving things in satin jackets.
You know, I have an authentic Ribera menu, like straight from Tokyo, and like here in the studio, right?
No.
Would you like to hear what's on it? I need to go grab it, so you need to vamp. But I feel like this is solid material.
If there were like a list, like in my dream list of various, I'll say collectibles, I guess, or memorabilia, I guess you would ask for in wrestling, one of the things that I would want is, now that I think about it, I don't know if I'd want it or not, but a Ribera Steakhouse satin jacket. But you kind of have to earn those, so it would feel wrong acquiring one not being in the business to me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. Here's the Ribera menu for those of you that are curious. I got
Cash only, by the way.
Does it say that? It does not say that on the menu. It might, but I can't.
I can convey this. It's cash only.
Okay. So here is what is on a Ribera Steakhouse menu. I got this from Pro Wrestling Crate one time. They're like, yeah, we had them ship us a bunch. We put them in these crates. It was one of the Japan theme boxes. I opened up and I was like, that's really cool. Okay. So first up, you got the Yokozuna steak.
So it's presumed to be Japanese, but it's actually like from Samoa.
Sure. It's a 640 kilogram steak. I know.
It's not a 640 kilogram steak.
640 kilogram steak. I'll send you the picture.
Okay, because like
Hold on, I'll send you a picture of it. That's what it says. I mean, it seems awfully high.
that's like the whole cow.
There you go. I'll send you the picture. Unless I'm just not reading this correctly. 640 kilograms to ounces, because that's
like a wrestler is about like 110 kilos.
Okay, did you get this? That says 600. I'm not going crazy, right?
It says 640 kilograms,
Which is 22,575 ounces. Okay, something is wrong here.
There's a little something lost in translation.
But in case that doesn't fill you up, you also get rice and a green salad. And it is $4,900. Or 4,900 yen, I'm sorry.
It would make sense that's $4,900.
If it was a 640 kilogram steak. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's 640 kilograms for the steak, the rice, and the salad. Like, that's the entire. Because, here, I'll send you a picture of the full menu. So you can also comment as I do this.
Oh, because there's at least 300 pounds of lettuce to go with it.
Right. I think it should just be grams, because if you look to the right here, it just says 640 gram. I think that's probably a little more accurate, because that would be a 22-ounce steak. Yeah, it's supposed to be grams.
I want the 640 kilogram
I
steak.
do too. Only available at Vinnie Mac's Brazilian Steakhouse.
Yes. God damn it.
I think we found our.
I don't care if it's a typo.
I think we found our podcast title, by the way.
We've got to put it on the menu. 640 kilogram. What's a kilogram?
Vince, that's the metric system.
God damn it, we're American.
He creates a gimmick of someone that's metric man just to get swashed at tribute to the troops.
God damn. Beat him with a meter stick. That was a meter.
stick.
They're yards, damn it.
Ribera also features the 1 pound steak and rice for 3,500 yen. Which by the way, the 4,900 yen was $46.
Right.
As of this moment. The 1 pound steak, which is 3,500 yen, is $33.
I mean, you just round down a little bit. You figure it's a little less than 100 yen in a dollar.
Yeah.
Or a little less. 100 yen is like, what, like 92 cents or something like that, or whatever.
One Japanese yen equals 0.0094 United States dollar.
Okay, so
1 Japanese yen equals 0.0094 in real money.
goddamn fractions. How many cents is that?
I don't think fractions have to do with this.
Carry the one.
The half-pound steak and rice, 200 grams, 2,200 yen. The Badahari filet steak and rice, which is a 450-gram meal. This is the most expensive item on the Ribera menu, checking in at 5,000 yen. So if you're wanting to live,
I have to find out what the hell Badahari means.
I don't know.
I'm looking that up now as you keep talking.
Then I will keep talking. Just a filet steak and rice, 300 grams, 4,000 yen. Filet steak and rice, 200 grams, 3,000 yen. And then here are your side dishes that are available at the Ribeira Steakhouse in Tokyo, Japan. Green salad, 500 yen. The corn side dish for 500 yen. And the corn soup for 500 yen. And if you'd like to place an order, you can call them right now at 3799-9955.
I don't have a dash on my phone. Where the hell's the dash?
Vince, I also don't have the country code for you, sir. I'm sorry. It's a Badahari.
Well, I'm looking. There is a Badahari person.
Is it a steak from a man? Because that's... I feel like we should be making a bigger deal out of that.
He is a Dutch-Moroccan super heavyweight kickboxer.
Oh, so it's named after him.
Who is a former K1 heavyweight champion.
There you go.
His prominent figure in world kickboxing, however, has been involved in a number of controversies relating to his unsportsmanlike conducts in the sport and crimes of violence outside of the ring.
All right, so if you want the violent steak, take yourself to Tokyo, Japan, and the Ribeira Steakhouse.
He's been arrested multiple times since 2006 on various assault charges.
Did you look up just Badahari steak or just Bada?
I just started to type Badahari and it showed me the first thing was his Wikipedia article.
Yeah, I even typed in steak after his name and it came up with that. So, I guess it's him. That's interesting. All right.
Seemed like he was very popular in K1. I mean, K1 was extremely popular in Japan.
Well, that was Pride before Pride, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think of Bob Sapp, and making a name for himself in K1, and just a lot of other people. It just, I could totally see people involved with that getting just major exposure that way.
The weird lineage of Japanese martial arts that led us from K1 to Pride to Ryzen. Jesus. As the world self-destructs.
Now, I can't remember if that was fixed or not. K1, I think, was.
K1 had not mafia ties or whatever, right? With the
Yakuza.
Yakuza. I kept wanting to call it Yokohama, and I was like, that's like a motorcycle. Yeah, I believe that's correct. If my MMA history serves me right. Cue bite out of green pepper. That was a deep reference for those of you that got it, and I really hope you enjoyed it if you did.
The only true Iron Chef.
Yes. You know the guy that played the commissioner of that?
The chairman.
The chairman, thank you. He was the original Jesus Christ in the original Japanese production of Jesus Christ Superstar. Fun fact.
Other fun fact, the entire soundtrack pretty much of the original Iron Chef is just the Backdraft soundtrack.
Huh. Here you thought you were going to learn about wrestling today. You've learned about steakhouses and Iron Chef.
Welcome to Cheaters Never Watch Iron Chef.
I used to watch the crap out of that when I was in middle school.
Oh, God.
Best.
You just needed to throw an age dig in there, didn't you?
I didn't mean it that way. I mean, because that was like when it first started getting big on Food Network, when Food Network first started getting big.
And Food Network was awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Because it was because it always came on Friday nights. I think it came on at 9, or maybe it was even 10, because it was like Emerald was at 8, right? And then I think 9 and 9:30 were something, and Good Eats, of course.
Yep.
And then 10
Which
o'clock
is coming back.
Yes. How exciting is that?
That's exciting.
And then 10 o'clock was Iron Chef. I had a spreadsheet that I'd found online that had and it was a searchable Excel doc where you could go through and like put in the main or the secret ingredient, And then it would tell you all the different episodes it was featured in and the dishes that were cooked and who competed and who won. And
I remember getting thrown off when it was Iron Chef Japanese, but it wasn't Morimoto. It was the one before him. Because you had Chen Kenichi, who was Iron Chef Chinese. You had, oh God, why can't I think of...
Sakai.
Yeah. Sakai was Iron Chef French.
I remember that, yep. Because he wore blue.
Ryoki Sakai.
Kenichi wore yellow.
Yeah. And then you had, for the later episodes, Morimoto, who wore silver and was Iron Chef Japanese.
Because that's what got him famous enough to open Nobu.
Yeah. And that's what made me hate Bobby Flay. But...
You also hate Bobby Flay? I need to pause here for a second. Is he not the worst thing to ever happen to the Food Network? Second,
man,
maybe either him or Guy Fieri. I don't know. I don't know which one.
No, it's Bobby Flay.
Okay.
Guy serves a purpose.
Does he?
And Guy seems like a nice enough person. He does. He's just. I don't know.
If I could get Guy Fieri in a Hell in a Cell match.
Guy seems like he's having a good time, though. So that's the thing. Bobby Flay just looks annoyed all of the time.
What was that? I have to find this video so I can tie this back to wrestling.
But Bobby Flay jumps on his cutting board table when he's taking on Morimoto and pretty much insults all of Kitchen Stadium.
I feel like I remember
and
that.
He complained that like his tools weren't working, and it was he came off like such a prima donna in the whole thing, and they had to go do another one in America because Bobby Flay complained that the only reason he lost was because of the faulty equipment. And yeah,
didn't he complain about his gas lines not working and stuff?
Yeah, there was other. He played the total heel, which, you know, when looking back at it, I mean, it's what he was doing. He was doing it, and he was doing it well, and it worked because I hated him.
Yeah, but also it's Bobby Flay, so you hated him.
Yeah,
he had that X-Pac heat.
He did. But again, Iron Chef, much like professional wrestling, kind of predetermined anyway. There were so many...
Go on.
Well, there were all the... You kind of knew... Like, the chefs knew what the mystery ingredient was going to be in the first place. There was a decent amount of prep time going into it. I don't know. There were other things too. It wasn't totally...
I thought
predetermined.
I thought I had read that they told them like either 2 or 3 things. They're like, these are the possibilities. It's one of these.
Right, yeah.
So, which makes sense. I mean, you obviously don't want them just sitting it being like, huh, okay.
It could be an eggplant or, you know, like...
sea urchin.
Red snapper.
Yeah.
Very tasty. As found on the Wheel of Fish. Yes, there are going to be Weird Al UHF references tonight, too.
That one's lost on me. I'm sorry.
Did you not see UHF?
No.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
I thought you were trying to make some like really random Scorch reference.
No, you need to sit down and watch. I mean, do you appreciate Weird Al Yankovic at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. You need to sit down. It's on Amazon. It's on various streaming services. You need to just sit down one day and just watch UHF. I think technically the movie's like, did it hit its 30th anniversary? My God, maybe.
So if that movie's 30 years old, Tom, this is why I haven't seen it.
Yes, because they only showed it when it was first released, and it was never seen again. It was locked into a vault for 30 years.
Yeah, because it was made by Disney. Duh.
It's not made by Disney.
It would be great. A Weird Al Yankovic Disney film.
No. Aren't all movies Disney films now?
Weird Al Yankovic's version of Song of the South. Go. So, here's something that will never happen to us. WWE is starting a new podcast network, which we'll never be invited to.
Unless it's about Weird Al Yankovic movies and Iron Chef.
And Vinnie Mac's Brazilian Steakhouse.
Yes.
Here's my main question about this, right? These gonna be like kayfabe podcasts because I don't know how I feel about that. Do I have to listen to a podcast to understand what's going on television? Because you're getting ready to add 2 more hours of TV content a week. I don't need another hour that I have to listen to.
Well, I don't know how much of this would be scripted necessarily in the sense of like having to have writers and come up with stuff. Yeah. I think it would be, I mean, you have wrestlers that already have podcasts that they've kind of latched onto. I mean, they've been in bed with the Stone Cold podcast before. Yeah. They had a little agreement with Pritchard's podcast.
So
Jericho's podcast.
You mentioning Pritchard, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the main play here. I don't know how, but they have infinite money at this point, right? They somehow get Pritchard and Bischoff away from Conrad Thompson. Because they see that as a threat, because Conrad's in bed with AEW, right?
Right.
I don't know. As soon as I saw that announcement today, that was the first thing that went through my brain. I was like, this is another shot at AEW without actually being one.
Well, it's a weird arrangement to begin with because, I mean, Vince already has both those people on the payroll to begin with. Because Pritchard's working for WWE.
Right. And I will say, neither one of those podcasts has changed since they both joined.
I don't know, because I refuse to listen to the Bischoff podcast, and Pritchard lost me a long time ago.
Tom, how else do you get your discount code for Blue Chew?
I just guess. Is it blue?
Tom,
is it dick drug?
This is where you're supposed to be like, I don't need Blue Chew. That was where I was hoping you were going. Anyway, I mean, the only kayfabe podcast I want out of this, right? There's only one logical answer, and they've obviously decided it's not coming back to TV. It's not coming back to the network. But if there was a Talking Smack podcast hosted by Renee Young, give me that.
But I think that window is open.
Yeah, that's the only kind of like kayfabe. Like after the show, couple quick interviews, 15, 20 minutes, boom, it goes up the next morning. That way you wake up your morning thinking, I mean, it's good marketing too, right? You wake up your morning, you open your phone, boom, you're thinking WWE as you leave the door, right? They talk about having people invested in the brand all the time. This is a big step into that. Another big step into that.
Right.
Talking Smack would be great, though. As long as they just let it keep that same vibe. Because it doesn't need to be... I don't need to see Talking Smack.
No. And I think it's... Again, I think people are going to want to hear a little bit of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Even if they don't have Pritchard necessarily, they can potentially have a show like that. And I don't know who you'd put... But, I mean, there's such a wealth of people involved that you could put in there that... but we've been saying that about WWE Network too, but to produce an actual television show is different than just a radio show.
This is cheap.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the AJ Styles Flat Earth podcast. Ooh, do you think that means they could bring back Talkin' Shop? It would be obviously a greatly toned down version of Talking Shop, right?
Carl Anderson's already mentioned something about it on Twitter, so
I mean that'd be so exciting.
But I mean, and it's an opportunity for some guys to potentially get themselves over, by getting on these shows on a regular and kind of developing something.
I can see them totally having Titus host one of the podcasts, which could also be very good, I think, because he's a good speaker. I think it would translate well.
Yeah.
Who else on that roster? You have to have Bray Wyatt doing like a motivational podcast every week.
And it's how much of this are you doing in kayfabe, and how much are you doing as a separate thing?
And you could even do short run stuff, right? For different storylines and stuff that need to happen. If this does happen, there is absolutely one storyline that will single-handedly be built on this just to get people to listen to it. So expect that now.
Yeah, because you'll turn around and you'll just be like, this week on the so-and-so podcast, this person said this, or why did this person get attacked? Well,
if you listened to
the so-and-so podcast, you'll listen carefully. Mm-hmm. And then, they play it back. And
I'm a big fan of Firefly Audio Theater, though. That would be really cool. And if there's one person with the mind to come up with, it's Bray Wyatt. Because he's into the horror movie landscape. That's where all the, idea of the Fiend comes from. I think he's got enough respect for that he can translate it to audio. Because, of course, that's the roots of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, comments, concerns about professional wrestling tonight, Tom?
I can't think of anything.
I feel like we wrapped this. We peaked.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time to get out tonight. With our 5 minutes of wrestling content and our 25 minutes on Vinnie Mac's Brazilian Steakhouse.
And just remember, any of the new Iron Chef, not as good.
Not good. No. Iron Chef America's terrible.
Yeah, it's like you have like 17 new Iron Chefs, and they kind of like switch through. And
did they ever have any of the new? Because didn't TV Ashai produce Iron Chef?
They came out with a new Iron Chef, like a new Japanese Iron Chef.
Okay.
Show, and I think you can find it on some channel or like on demand, that type of thing. But
because I could totally see like Okada or Tanahashi as a judge, right?
Well, you have to have the one guy from the college who was also like the color commentator guy. You need some actor.
Yeah.
You
need the psychic lady.
Yeah, there's always the fortune teller lady at the end.
Yeah.
And then occasionally sometimes 3, sometimes 4, because then you'd have like some government official sometimes too.
Yeah. And of course the chairman.
Yes.
Jesus Christ himself. All right, Tom, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. Go to the Iron Chef fan forums on a Envision board somewhere. I'm sure I'm probably there as well.
You can find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, at JCBOBBITT, wherever finer social media is pervade. You can find the show on Twitter for now at CheatersNVRPin. Same on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a heart or a big blue thumbs up and tell us how much you love us. And seriously, if you have an idea for what we should name this podcast, please tell us. Who knows? Maybe we just call it Vinnie Mac's Brazilian Steakhouse. Because that's unique. Next week, who knows what we'll talk about.
I'm sure wrestling will take place.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some food reviews.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe we just review an episode of Iron Chef. I don't know.
So before we completely wrap up, I threw this idea out, like, kind of in passing a couple weeks ago. If we ever have a down week like this again, we need to pick a pay-per-view and just watch it. And ideally watch it, not necessarily like, I think one of our issues with watching pay-per-views with people is trying to get people together in the same room and that type of thing. And I've been listening to, like, How Did That Get Made is one of those podcasts that kind of blew up or whatever. Is we need to find somebody, someone not necessarily a fan of wrestling, and just kind of drag them in and go, hey, I want you to watch this episode of Raw or
Halloween Havoc 98.
Yeah. Some pay-per-view, and then just come on the show the following week and let's just talk about what we've seen.
That would be fun. Maybe we can make that happen next week. I have a feeling we're coasting right now.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what you'll find next week? We'll put it on Twitter.
If you're listening, maybe we'll reach out to you.
Oh, yes. Would you like to watch some dumb crap with us?
Yes.
Give us a call. No. Yeah. So I'll do it for this week. That show in areas I think neither of us expected tonight.
Yeah.
But it was good. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I need that. All right. So next week we'll be back with something. So until then, I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.